I'm not a patient person, but I am a patient parent, and that's taken a lot of practice.
Patience takes practice. Let's dive a little deeper. As a parent, I've often been complimented by my friends, strangers, and the few family members I still talk to about how patient I am with my kids. I am not quick to anger. I am great at recognizing when I'm reaching my limit and need to take a break. I believe in second chances. Those things come naturally for me. When it comes to raising kids, though, they will unintentionally push every button and boundary you have. It's like hard mode. So I started by building on my strengths and working to become a more patient person. When I say I'm not a patient person, but I am a patient parent, I mean that. As a person, I hate waiting. I am always in a rush to get things done quickly and efficiently, and I hate when things get in my way. But as a parent, I've learned to shift my perspective on all of those things. It's not just about me and what I want and how I want it and when I want it done. It's about what's best for us as a family and respecting my kids as I teach them how to be people.
One of the most helpful things I've learned to do is to stop rushing and change how I handle time.
I'm gonna be honest with you, this is still a work in progress, a piece of patience that I'm practicing. I am always in a rush, even when I don't have a time limit or anywhere to be. It's just who I am as a person. I have to be incredibly aware and mindful to remind myself that I don't need to rush, to relax about the time on the clock. Being late is a huge anxiety trigger for me, so learning to deal with that meant learning how to take the steps I needed to avoid situations where we'd be running late and learning to be patient with myself. How I handle my perception of time and rushing goes beyond the time on a clock when it comes to patience with my kids, though. Like, say they're throwing a tantrum, I have let go of that feeling that I need to stop this right this second. I have time. If I lose my patience during a tantrum, I'm more likely to yell. If I yell, they're more likely to get more upset. I'm more likely to get more upset. The situation can continue to escalate. Now we're all upset and I have to calm all of us down, and I'll certainly have some apologizing to do afterwards. And sure, reacting to the tantrum by yelling and telling them to cut it out might give me a release of my feelings triggered by it, but logically I'm not helping the situation. I'm teaching them that it's okay to impulsively react to your feelings even if it negatively impacts someone. I'm escalating the situation. I'm not helping them cope with their feelings in a healthy way, and I'm possibly negatively impacting our relationship. So how do I deal with tantrums? Well, it really depends on the tantrum. Say I gave them the blue cup, but they wanted the pink cup, and now they're yelling and screaming on the floor, having a total meltdown. We've all been there. Well, first I'm gonna take control of my own feelings. Then there's different steps I'll take to try to get them to calm down and talk to me. A frequently used phrase in my house is stop, look, and listen. Stop what you're doing, look at me, listen to me. I want to talk to you, but you can't hear me if you're screaming. That one works sometimes. Other times I might sit on the floor next to them and try some co-regulation, like talking through breathing techniques or reminding them that when they're ready to talk, I'm ready to listen and we can figure this out together. Another thing I might try is to disrupt the tantrum and then distract them. I might get a little silly and start flicking the lights on and off. I might start whispering because when someone is whispering to you, you feel like you should whisper back, and then they're asking, why are we whispering? And now we can move on from the situation. I might lay down next to them on the floor and pretend to be asleep. Now they're confused. How is mom sleeping right now? I have to wake them up. And now again, we have disrupted the anger cycle and we can talk about it. Now with a situation like the wrong cup, once I have their attention, I'm going to be realistic about it. Sorry I grabbed the wrong cup. I didn't realize you had a preference, but I'll be sure to ask next time. Good news is this drink is going to taste just as good out of the blue cup, and the pink cup will be ready for your next drink. Though sometimes I'll just pour it into the cup they wanted. Pick your battles. Even a tantrum in public, I'm gonna take my time. I've sat on the floor in a grocery store before. Now we do make sure to move out of the way so we're not interfering with other folks, but yelling at my kids in public is not gonna fix the problem. In my experience, a tantrum can be resolved in a few minutes. So I'm gonna take the time to connect with my kid and help them through their feelings instead of just trying to stop their feelings. People are gonna judge you no matter what you do as a parent. If I yell at my kids in public, someone is gonna judge me for that. If I take the time to help my kids through their feelings in public, someone's gonna judge me for that. So I just prioritize my kids and myself and we move on with our day.
Little kids have no concept of time.
Seriously though, little kids don't know what time it is. They don't know what day it is, what month it is, what year it is. They may not even know the year they were born, unless you tell them. But even if you tell them, they can't conceptualize what that means in the big picture the way an adult can. Whenever my littlest lady asks me about the timing of something like when's my next ballet class, no matter what I answer her, she responds to me, but that's gonna take forever. 5 minutes is an eternity to little kids, and we can't fault them for it. That's just the way it is.
I mean, big kids are just learning.
My oldest kiddo started learning clock math when she was in like the 3rd grade. How much time until 6:30 if it's 2:15 now? 3rd graders are like 8 years old. Do I expect an 8-year-old to accurately estimate what 30 minutes feels like? No, she's older now and she's better at maintaining timelines and schedules, but it takes time to learn and we're never striving for perfection.
By relaxing how I handle time, we avoid frustration, all of us.
Loosening my time constraints has helped us all. Understanding that as an adult, my life runs by the time on the clock and my kids are just learning about the clock helps me navigate our time together.
I got examples.
I have 3 kids, and in my experience with 3 kids, they're either all self-sufficient and happy with themselves or they all desperately need me at the same time. One of the most overwhelming things for me as a parent is when I'm suddenly ambushed by all of my children chanting "Mom, Mom, Mom" in rapid succession at different volumes and different levels of urgency. Suddenly 3 kids feels like 17 and I want that to stop. So I raise my voice. Not yell, there's a difference. I raise my voice loud enough that they can all hear me say, "I can't help everybody at the same time, one at a time, my dudes." And then I pick one kiddo to start and we go through one at a time where they can all tell me what they need and then we figure out whose need takes priority. I gain their attention and work through it the best I can to maintain order. The only way out is through, so even if I'm stressed, I can keep it together for a few minutes to calm everyone down. Or like if my kid throws a tantrum and it triggers my anger, that signals to me that I need to take a break and collect myself. If it's not an emergency, we don't need to respond right away. Then I'm keeping my patience with my kids by taking care of myself too. Then they're getting the attention they need and the response they need and not a response that might make matters worse. So I would say one of my biggest examples of practicing patience in parenting is getting my kids ready for school in the morning. They have to be to school by 7:30, which doesn't make sense to me, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, I'm not a morning person, and for a long time I was trying to maintain a schedule that wasn't working. I mean, if anything threw us off schedule, we were gonna be late. There's a missing shoe, we're doomed. And as we all know, it's always a missing shoe. Anyway, in the past this was a recipe for disaster. Yelling about a shoe, frantically searching, no patience for a child who is also tired and unable to find their shoe. I realized the error in my ways and I changed things so we wouldn't end up in this situation. It wasn't as much about keeping my patience as it was about changing my routine so that I didn't need the patience. And with our new routine, if something sets us off schedule, we're less likely to be late because I've built more time into our schedule. Now, of course, there is still a chance that we would be late for something, but I've reframed the way I look at that. It's okay. We're human. I'm more patient with my kids and myself. And we do have to be patient with ourselves. That's important. It's our first time raising humans, and there's not just one way to do it. We're gonna make mistakes, and we have to be patient with ourselves while we navigate them. Our kids are watching us and learning from us, so if we can be patient with ourselves and patient with our kids, then they can learn to be patient with themselves and patient with us.
We have somewhere we gotta be at a certain time. I get my kids ready an hour before we have to leave.
I try to, at least. I get better at this as time goes on. School mornings have less wiggle room, but a weekend family dinner or an after-school event, we can get ready well in advance. We can be ready way before we have to walk out the door.
I'll round them all up and say, okay guys, let's get ready. And when we're ready, we can go back to what we're doing until it's time to go.
This is a routine we created a long time ago, so there's not much hassle surrounding it. Let's just get ready now and get it out of the way.
I find they end up getting ready faster because they want to get back to their activities.
You want to finish that episode of Bluey? Better put your shoes on quick. You want to finish customizing your character in The Sims? Well, let's brush your hair real fast. The game can pause, the show can wait. We can put a bookmark in. We're just taking a quick break so we're ready to go later.
And then we totally avoid the "we're gonna be late" brush.
If things run smoothly, we avoid the rush. And if things don't run smoothly, we still don't have to rush because we have more time to do things since we're doing them before they need to be done. We have time to process and figure things out without the stress. We're keeping the peace. And if a kid is dragging their feet, I don't want to do this right now, it's easy to talk to them about it and say, like, I know that you don't really want to do it right now, but here's why we should do it right now. That's just a lot better for everyone.
If I'm running late, can I get out the door in 15 minutes? Absolutely.
Like, I might not have any eyebrows and my hair might be a disaster, but I can get out the door pretty fast.
Can my kids? Solid maybe with a side of chaos.
The second we're on a small time constraint, we all seem to forget how to function for a moment. There is one of me and 3 of them, 2 of whom definitely need assistance getting ready and 1 who is pretty good at being independent. But if we need to get out the door in 15 minutes, well, it might happen, it might not. but we're all gonna be stressed.
I'm really relaxed about when they complete responsibilities, depending on the responsibility. I'm also teaching them to prioritize.
As long as things get done, I'm not often too particular about when they get done. Priorities matter though. Now my kids don't often get homework, but when they do, homework comes before leisure activities. And on a weekend, self-care tasks come before fun stuff. So say on a weekend my kids had breakfast, it's like, okay, well now you have to brush your teeth, brush your hair, get dressed, and all the stuff that comes with it before we move into video games.
But when I'm asking them to complete a chore, I'm saying, hey, when you're done reading that chapter, playing that game, drawing that picture, can you take care of this for me?
You can't pause an online game, Mom. This is one of the things I'm more relaxed about. So long as the chore gets done the day it's supposed to, I'm cool with it. Go ahead and finish what you're doing and get to the chore later. Or like, keep playing for now, but at 4 o'clock we're gonna get to work. Now there are certain circumstances where the priorities of chores might change, but it's definitely situational.
And they complete the task on their own time, usually without needing a reminder.
The younger they are, the more likely they are to need a reminder. I don't mind giving them a reminder though. That's how we build routines.
We have regular screen breaks, so I'll announce screen break coming in 10 minutes, and then they set timers, and when it goes off, they turn it off.
I've talked about this before. Timers are a parent's best friend. Visual timers are really great for little kids, but either way, there is a distinct boundary of time. They know it's coming, they know what to expect, and they know what's expected of them. And you can clearly set out the consequences if they violate that expectation.
Letting go of this sense of urgency has helped me find peace.
I find that in those times where I'm sticking to my schedules and staying on top of and ahead of my deadlines, I'm most relaxed and things run smoothly. If I let go of the systems I have in place to keep the peace, things go sideways. If I can avoid urgency, we're golden. And I think that might be one of the most important pieces of practicing patience. You have to identify the things that make you lose your patience and then come up with systems to help you avoid those situations. And come up with coping skills for when those situations come up anyway.
Instead of taking control, I give control so we can share it and work together.
What I mean by this is that I want to avoid the power struggle. My kids are people with autonomy and feelings in the same way that I am. Now, as the parent, I'm making most of the decisions and I'm setting the schedules. So in the places where I can give them control, I want to. So yeah, you have to get dressed right now, but you can pick your outfit. Or you have to brush your teeth and put your shoes on. Which one do you want to do first? In these ways, we're working together.
They do better when they're self-motivated, and we do better when we work as a team.
Teamwork makes the dream work, or whatever. I am the household manager, but I want to be a good manager. I want to make sure that everyone's needs are met and everyone knows what's expected of them and everyone knows that they're valued. Empathy goes a long way when we're practicing being more patient with our kids. We have to understand that all these routines are new for them. All of these feelings are new for them. Navigating the world is new for them. They are new at being people. We have to take our time and be patient while we support them as they learn. Anyway, thanks for being here, friends. If you want to hear how I figured out gentle parenting when my parents weren't gentle, check out this video or watch the whole playlist with more videos like it. Just make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.